Want to start out just saying thank you. This is a really cool event. We've done this in our region a few years in a row now, to be able to do this, as an area and to invite all the schools from around our area is really cool. It gives these guys a great opportunity to meet each other, to see the teams, see the guys behind the helmets. So it's a really cool event, and I'm really appreciative for Mr. Hartline and Mix 1041 hosting this. Two guys I brought today, Hudson McCooch. Hudson McCooch played receiver for us last year. Was a big-time playmaker for us over the last year. Had over 40 catches, over 800 yards, and 10 touchdowns last year. Was a huge part of our offense, and obviously going to count on him again in our offense. The other one is Zeke Garrison. Zeke has played for us now for 2 years as a starter. Started as a sophomore. Kind of the heart and soul behind our defense. Gives us the energy and just is a playmaker defensively for us. So really excited to be here. I wanted to give the most time just to answer questions. Kind of something I thought of as I was coming in today is with my position on the Tennessee Football Coaches Association board, I know a lot of the big picture things going around where it comes to high school football and the changes that are happening in high school football and the kind of the shift towards what the NCAA looks like. And I know there's coaches fighting that, and I know there's coaches that are for that. And trying to find the balance of that in high school football is something that's been really difficult. And I like the big picture items. So if there's any question on that, I'd love to give you kind of the insight from the Coaches Association side. But in the end, again, just excited to celebrate these players, not only from Walker Valley, but from across our area. Yes, sir.
Some of the changes you expect in football, high school, Tennessee in the next couple of years?
Yeah, I think as I brought that up, there are definitely shifts in at least the talk. I think the number one thing that you're seeing right now is the transfer rule. I think the TWSA is really heavily looking at the transfer rule in a couple different ways. I used to honestly thought, hey, the TWSA just wants to open it up and make it open to everybody, which is what Florida high school football is. You hear horror stories in Florida right now of a kid playing at 4 different high schools in 4 years. You hear about it playing football at one school in the fall and then a different school for baseball in the spring, or running track in the spring with somebody else. So there's a fear of that with coaches around our area. As I talk to coaches about what they would like to see, and there's definitely differing opinions. I think everyone wants the kid to have opportunity, but also wants to understand that we've got to have some type of rule so it doesn't become wild, wild west. I think there's some options, if you open it up fully, no change of address, you don't have to do anything to change schools. All that has to happen is a school lets you in. I think that's an extreme version of that, and I don't think that's something we want to go towards as a high school, a group of high schools, an association. But there's definitely that on the table that we've got to be aware of and that we got to understand. So I think the transfer rule is the biggest one that we're looking at. There's other things happening, with schedules, and those aren't as fun and not as interesting to talk about. But there's definitely some transition going on in high school football that coaches need to be aware of and coaches need to talk about and voice their opinion on.
Coach, you got a new man under center this year. Has the team rallied behind him and supported him like he needs?
I'm going to let these guys talk about that too, but I love what I've seen from Dose and Stum over the last really week. I think there was some nerves going in over the July 7-on-7 period where we weren't seeing quite what we needed to see out of Dosen. His tempo was really slow. We couldn't get him to speed up. And since Friday, I've seen Dosen have a great scrimmage against Ringgold on Friday, and then has had 3 outstanding practices this week. And so it's almost like a switch flipped, and he understands the tempo that he has to play at. Nobody works harder than this kid right here beside me, Hudson McCooch. Man, every time I'm up at the facility, that kid's up there working, and I think that's something that him and Dosen have done a lot of. I want him to talk about how hard Dosen's worked and the relationship that they've built up. So, Hudson.
So obviously when you lose a quarterback, it's kind of a big hole, but with Dosen, I don't really see there being that big of a hole. He's stepped right into the spot. He has all the potential we need, and everybody's really rallying behind him, like Coach said, and supporting him in his starting role now. I feel like he has really good work ethic every single time that maybe like I'm tired or I'm sore, I'm hurt from the night before. He's hitting me up. He's like, let's get out there, let's get out there. We're always out there working on what we need to work on. If we mess up, we're out there fixing it. And I think he's just really, he has all the pieces he needs to start right now. He has the great O-line, they're all returning, and I feel like he has great opportunity and all the potential to be great this year.
All right. Thank you guys for having us. Really appreciate it.